So, a while back, I did something I normally don't do. I started thinking about my finances and opened my banking app. Something I've been putting off for a long time. And by a long time, I mean maybe a couple weeks. And I decided I was going to download my statement and feed it into AI to find out what I've been wasting my money on and just have AI analyze all of my purchases. And there's one thing that stuck out that really blew me away, and it was that I spent $600 on Uber Eats in 1 month. And the part that gets me is that the whole reason I opened up my banking app was because I felt like I was broke. I felt like I didn't have any money. I got an alert that said I had been low. My bank had gone under $100. Well, not my bank, but my debit card. I do my auto savings. So as far as my savings go, I'm good. But I couldn't help but notice that I had spent all the money on my debit card. I'd spent 10 months worth of gym memberships on burritos in 1 month. What am I doing? So that's what I'm trying to talk about today, is that everybody here has a bank statement that you can take and feed into AI and ask it to be brutally honest with you. You don't need a financial advisor. Gone are those days. You have a free financial advisor right in front of you. And if you're going to do that, just beware. Obviously, you're sharing sensitive data. Personally, I really don't care. I don't think they really want my data. They're after other things. But you could take your statement, feed it into Claude, and it could tell you exactly what you're doing wrong with your money. You could develop any type of plan you want. Just have a conversation back and forth with it. And it's like the smartest financial advisor you could think of having. But anyways, after I fed my statement into Claude, it made me realize something. The statement's not just a record of things that you bought, money in, money out. It's a record of what you wanted at a specific date and time. It really kind of reveals something about the self-control that you thought you had. It's not what you said you wanted. It's the truth about what actually happened for that month. And the truth is, I couldn't stop myself from spending money on Uber Eats. Because the reality is, you could lie about your financial situation. You could lie about your health. You could tell somebody that you're doing something when you're not. I don't think anybody really does that on purpose. I'm just saying it to prove a point. You could even lie to yourself, and many people do. Everybody does. I think everybody does, actually. Everybody lies to themselves. Maybe not on purpose, but subconsciously you do. The one thing that doesn't lie is your bank statement. Your bank statement does not lie. The statement just sits there and writes it all down. It's a ledger, its own little ledger. But anyways, when I went through mine, I circled a bunch of stuff. Obviously, I had AI circle a bunch of stuff for me. And all of it basically fell into one of three buckets. The buckets being the reason why I spent the money to begin with. The first bucket would be boredom. Boredom would be the stuff that I probably spent money on and I didn't even need it at the time, but it probably gave me a dopamine hit. Something like some stupid membership that I wanted for some app online or on my phone. The second one would be image, I guess. I did spend a lot of money on clothes. This one I'm okay with because I really did need those shirts, and I've already gotten a bunch of compliments on them. They were really nice shirts, like PGA Tour style, clean, breathable golf shirts. So I don't regret that one bit, but half of that was image because I liked the way they looked. But the third one was the one that had the issue, and that was escape. And that was the damn Uber Eats that I had been spending all that money on. And you wouldn't think at first that it would be escape. How could I link Uber Eats to escaping life? But in a roundabout way, it is sort of about escaping life, because the reason I had been ordering Uber Eats isn't because I'm addicted to burritos or Panda Express. It's because I didn't want to cook. I didn't want to go to the grocery store and spend an hour and then come home and spend an hour cooking, which would then force me to clean the kitchen before I cooked. And it's just an endless cycle of me failing myself. And the culmination of that is just ordering Uber Eats habitually. And it doesn't have to be ordering Uber Eats. It could, in your situation, it might be, you might go to the Panda Express. I do it a lot. If I don't want to cook, I'll go spend $10 at Panda Express, and that's my meal for the day. That's my dinner. I don't have to cook. I don't have to clean. I just go home and lay down on the floor because I'm exhausted. I work construction. I'm exhausted when I get home. I don't want to do nothing. But the escape, spending money on things that help you escape, is a huge one, at least for me, and it probably is for you too. It could be the food, the subscriptions, you might be paying for Netflix, any other little comfort. And it doesn't always have to be because you wanted that particular item at the time. like I was saying. It's because you spend the money because you didn't want to feel something. It's because you didn't want to feel more tired. You didn't want to feel more stressed. You didn't want to feel more behind cleaning or whatever it was in that particular day. You chose the easy route. You chose the comfort, and it set you back another day. Not you particularly. I'm kind of just talking to myself here. But boredom or image or escape, most of the money leaking out of your life every month is buying one of those three. And none of them actually show up on the receipt. None of them actually show up in your bank statement. Try it out. Go pull up last month's statement. Go download it, put it in Claude, and have it circle anything that wasn't a real need. And I promise you, you would lose your mind. But don't judge it. You're just observing. This is another thing that we do. Well, not we, but when people meditate, they just observe things. You don't have to judge yourself for what you spent money on. You're not perfect. You're still human. But you just need to observe. And that's the first step, is knowing what you did, what you're doing. Knowing that, no, you didn't really need to buy the food. You were actually just bored, tired. You were trying to impress someone, or you were escaping from your life and your duties of life. That's the exercise. You're not going to make a budget. You're just going to be honest with yourself and observe what you're spending money on. And maybe that's the first time you'd ever done that. Maybe it's the first time you've done it in a while. I've done it before. And it's not about getting it all done and right on the first go. It's not about all fixing it in one go. It's about knowing. It's about educating yourself. You don't have to be too hard on yourself. You don't have to follow a rigid set of rules if that's not how you work. If that's not how your brain works. For me, I like educating myself and knowing when things should be a certain way. If I should do something a certain way. If I shouldn't spend money on food because I'm escaping from life, I should do it a different way. Next time I go to buy my Uber Eats, I'm going to think about it a different way. And that's how I learn. I give myself a lot of leeway, but it also leaves room for a lot of failure too. So just a lot of things you have to look at. But anyway, when you do this and you start analyzing what you're spending your money on, there's going to be one category that's going to jump off the page at you, unless you're perfect. And then in that case, maybe it's your rent. That's your biggest expense of the month, which I hope it is for most people. But that's it. That's the system. And going forward, before you buy anything that isn't a necessity, something that isn't in your Pavlov hierarchy of needs, just ask yourself, what are you actually buying right now? Are you buying the thing, or are you buying a feeling? It takes 10 seconds. It's a super easy exercise to practice. And the other rule is that you're still allowed to buy that item. You're still allowed to buy that feeling. I'm not telling you that you have to deprive yourself of something, but you have to label it. And that's where the power is. And what you'll find is once you label it, you might not even want to buy that thing at all. But the second thing, take whatever category jumped off the page, whatever surprised you, and put one number on it for the week. Just put one cap, not a whole budget on your expenses, just one line. Mine, I just told myself I'm not allowed to buy any more Uber Eats. No more Uber Eats. Maybe that was too harsh, but I decided I'm going to just go to Publix and I'm going to go to the grocery store and I'm going to get organic items, and that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to make good quality meals. And another thing I started doing too is anytime I saw something that I thought looked good on my Facebook Reels, I would just save that reel, or I would send it to somebody. Start sending those good recipes to the same person. And then whenever it's time for you to cook something, go into your DMs and just scroll and find something that you've sent before that looks good, and then go and get the ingredients. You know what I mean? Go get the ingredients and make that. That's so much more rewarding. And you can control what you're putting in your body. You have no idea what these people are putting inside the food that they feed you from the restaurants. But whatever you do, you just have to stick to it. Do it every single time. You have to have discipline. That's the only thing that's going to make changes like this stick, is having discipline. And I know what some people might be thinking, because I'm thinking it too right now. It sounds like I'm being cheap. It sounds like I'm having no fun and I'm telling you to stop enjoying yourself. But it's really the opposite. I need you to buy the good things, buy the things that you need. Take the trip, go to the concert, go to the beach, go on a date, take your girlfriend out to eat. Spend money on those things, on experiences. There's no reason to be cheap to yourself in your 20s. You're not making that much money anyway, probably. It's literally what money is for, is to spend. But it's a double-edged sword. You're going to need some money when you're older and can't work. And that's another thing you have to think about, and it's another video that we can talk about. The problem here is not the stuff that you actually chose to spend money on. It's the hundreds of dollars a month that you spent buying things that were a complete waste of money that you didn't need to spend money on. And it matters more than just the number in your bank account. There's a person that you're going to meet in 10 years. There's a version of you that you're going to meet in 10 years. And I have a video on this. Every one of those little things that you didn't spend money on, every one of those purchases that you said no to, it's going to add up. And the future version of you that learned how to say no to those things is going to thank you. What do you think the version of you would look like in 10 years if you just kept spending money on all this crap, on all this stuff that you didn't need? It's a version of you that you would look at and you'd say, this person does not know how to control himself. He doesn't have any discipline. Imagine the type of person in your head. Imagine somebody that has no discipline. Do you want to be that person? Probably not. You want to be a person that has discipline, who looks like he has discipline. But anyways, I'm just going off on a tangent at this point. You get the point of the video. You know what you're supposed to do. I made my point. That's all I got. Take care of yourself.